What's up, you beautiful collectors? This is Optibotimus coming at you with another video review. And today, thanks to the folks at Vance Hobby, we're going to be taking an early look at their MB-04 Gunfighter 2, which, as you can see, is their representation of kind of a masterpiece scale laser or G2 Optimus Prime. And first, I gotta give a shout out to him because this is the package that they sent him in. I mean, this came in another box, but I've never gotten like a figure actually boxed from any company before. And it says, obviously, a test shot sample for review. And also, they included instructions, which, God bless them. Now, these may not be the final ones, and they're just kind of printed on some paper. But a lot of people don't realize that when we get test samples, and we don't have the package or anything like that, they're not always finished, obviously. And 9.5 times out of 10, we do not get instructions. So a lot of the times, we're trying to showcase these figures to you guys without knowing all the full details. So kudos to Vance Hobby for making this possible. It really allows us to basically showcase the figure properly, I would say. So getting this out of here, throwing that over. Here we have him, and this guy, again, Vance Hobby really does impress me. Now, previously I took a look at their arch enemy, which was their Scourge repaint of this guy, and there was a lot that was going on with that figure that I absolutely loved. There was a few aspects of it that I remember thinking to myself, I wonder how it's going to be on their G2 Optimus kind of figure. Now, starting off first, he comes with several accessories. As you can see, he comes with a very classic, kind of iconic looking gun for Optimus in terms of his blaster here. And this looks really great. Great paint detail. You got some nice red thrown in there. You got some silver and gold here at the top. My camera doesn't want to focus. I mean, just overall gorgeous sort of representation of the Optimus Prime's gun. Now, you can also take the handle here and tuck this down, and then this can be used to store on his back, much like the arch enemy figure, but you can leave the handle down like this, and then you can come around here, and you got a little slot right there that can allow you to slide it right down there for storage. Now, unfortunately, you can't really do that with his other weapons when you have that used for this one, for example. He comes with a double barrel gun that you can see has a great paint detail on there as well with the little red kind of accents and everything. You got the little peg right here that works nicely for his robot mode. And then again, you slide that down. That's the handle for his hand. And then you can put that there as well. Unfortunately, there's no real place that I'm seeing where you can double up these weapons to have them store. That's a little unfortunate. It doesn't bother me, and it's not a deal breaker or anything of that nature. It's just, I wish there was a place that you could have put these. I mean, I don't even really see like little holes. I mean, I guess you could rotate these front bits around if you really wanted to make Vehicle of Doom. Let's see if so you can do that, and I guess peg that. Kind of spin it to get it going in. There you go. So you can do something like that. I suppose you could have, you know, a giant cannon shooting back that way and one going that way. Sure, now let's do that. That's what I'm going to go with. But so I would have liked it if there were some more kind of storage options here in terms of a vehicle mode, but it's, like I said, not a deal breaker or anything. And then he comes with this sword. Now, we did get this with the arch enemy figure. Instead of the red blade here, we have a nice purple one, which absolutely looks gorgeous. It matches very nicely with the purple that's done up here for the window. I kind of wish that this was done in blue, to be totally honest with you. Purple is good. I don't mind the color purple. I mean, I think it looks really good, but I get more of a Decepticon vibe. If this was a kind of light blue, and if this was done in a light blue, I think that it would have matched as an Autobot a little bit more. That's just a little personal preference, I think, but still gorgeous sword. You also do have that little tab right here that can be used to plug on his back. You can't really store this in terms of vehicle mode. You just kind of like sit it there. I suppose you can do something like that. So accessory-wise, you do get more than what we got with Arch Enemy, which is really cool. Now, unfortunately, I don't have Arch Enemy anymore to compare this guy to. That was just borrowed. But we basically already know what he looked in, and this is definitely a carryover of it. But really very, very cool looking. You can see you got that nice black color and then a nice kind of transition to the red up front here. I kind of wish that this guy had flames. I mean, I guess Michael Bay's ruined that for us in terms of seeing an Optimus Prime without flames, but I think that would have looked really cool. Nice silver paint detail here in the very front. You got little yellow for the turn signals. Again, really nice chrome for the hubcaps. Great silver paint on the side. You got his little gas tanks. This guy does feature diecast as well, but there is a little bit less diecast in this figure than what was in arch enemy, but it still has a very solid, heavy feel to it. I mean, he still does have die cast. Like, these bits are still die cast. I think his feet are still die cast. I think the only part that they removed the die cast in are his thighs. But obviously, removing that allows you to put things like these weapons into it, and also makes the cost on it come down, which I think is terrific. But great, great overall detail. Now, I don't remember, honestly, if Nemesis Prime had this, but you got these little sections back here that, again, I wouldn't have known that these were here if I didn't look at the instructions, but these are actually little flaps that fold out and then slide down, but you can see great paint detail on the inside there with some silver and gold just to kind of hide the actual legs. Like I said, I don't remember if their arch enemy figure had that, but that's a great little touch. Then you can back here to the back section, you can see that he's got his little blue feet hanging out there. I mean, overall, it really does do a great job of looking like a Laser Optimus. I mean, the colors just match beautifully, and it's really nicely represented here. Now, for his transformation, oh, and then I should mention that the tires are nice and rubber, and he does roll very well. But for the transformation, really very simple. I'm going to go through it because, again, I don't know if these parts were actually in the original one. So first I'm going to loosen these pieces up here and fold these out. Just kind of pull this away and fold them out just like that. Reach around in here and using your fingernail, kind of pull this piece out, just get that out of the way like so, and then spread these legs out a little, kind of separate that. Take this section, rotate this down, and then fold this all the way down just like so. Again, I don't know if that was on their arch enemy, but that's if it is, I miss it entirely, because that's an absolute gorgeous kind of hideaway for this. Then just take these legs, extend these out, kind of give these a little pull, and they are stiff, so pull that out. Just, well, oh, well, wait a minute, hold on. Take this, slide these up, sorry, and then you can, no, maybe it's the button. Maybe I didn't have the button pulled all the way or something. No, well, fold the feet. This whole section here is really, there we go. All right, maybe it has something to do with the feet. So pull that out, and then pull that, well, it's stiff. Let's see, what are we doing? Come on, Paul. There we go. Just give that a nice little pull. All right. So now we have those fully extended, and then take these middle sections here, rotate these around, and these tab in on the back, just like so. Make sure that you get that fully accordioned and line that up just like that. If you didn't move these little tire sections, move those all the way back just like I had them. But when you're done, there you have his legs basically done. And I mean, again, same transformation as we saw with Arch Enemy. It just might be a little bit different because of this back section. Then go ahead, take these, rotate these up, rotate these up. You can take these, tuck these in like so. His head's in there, so I don't know if it really kind of blocks things. Take this, fold that down. It doesn't really seem like it does. It seems to match up fairly kind of well with everything else going on in there. Go ahead, take this entire section here. If it wasn't extended out, go ahead, extend this up, and then separate these just like that. Split these out. You can then hinge these down. Make sure you keep them extended all the way out like that. Rotate these down and around. Lift this up. Rotate his hand out like so. Collapse that back down. Then rotate his actual fist around like so. Do that on this side. Pull that apart. Rotate this around. Spin the fist. Collapse that like so. Come around here to the back section. Take this back canopy. Pull this away like so. This kind of lifts this back section up. So make sure you pull that all the way. Reach in. Pull out his head. His ears will barely clear, but they do. Sometimes you do have to pull this back canopy away a little bit, but not too much. Then bring that down. Put that back. You can take this section. Close that back up. Then rotate his head around. Straighten him out. Just a little futz with them, some to get them looking kind of cool, get the ears straightened out. But when you're done, there you have the Gunfighter 2 transformed and in his robot mode. And this guy really does look terrific. The biggest differences that you're going to see between this and that arch enemy is probably the colors. But there are a few subtle differences on him that really do make him stand out differently. Number one, his chest is different, obviously because this does have an extra feature in it. And then right up front, I also noticed that this area is different. But the overall presence of him also does change in the fact that you're making this Optimus Prime. One thing that's amazing is, looking at the head, I believe it's the exact same head sculpt, but the color on it with the blue and the silver just really does amazingly look different. I'm blown away by how that looks. I also love the nice chrome that they have here in the eyes. You can kind of see it. It's a little chrome blue bit. That looks gorgeous. Now, for his weapons, obviously, you can see he holds them very nicely. One thing that I absolutely love that they do is up here at the base, so kind of like where the tip of this is, so like the very base of his hand, it's kind of in a T shape, and it matches very nicely with a little groove section here on the back of the handle. So you don't have to tab it in, you literally just slot it down and it stays in there perfectly fine. You can take the fingers and you can wrap it around, but even if you don't have the fingers wrapped around in there, I mean, he's holding his weapons beautifully. Same thing here with the other gun. It does it very nicely. It's actually a little bit stiffer on this, but you got that as well. Now you can also have him hold his sword. It does have that same rail sort of feature, so you just slide that, you bring that in there. It's a little bit trickier because this is a little bit wider in terms of the handle, but just kind of wedge this in there some. It does, maybe it fits in this a little bit better. Yeah, it kind of fits in there a little bit better, but you can get that fitted in there very nicely as well. As I was talking about in terms of storage for the robot mode, you come around here to the back, you can take these bits, and I'm just going to use this and stab that, well, I went wrong way, stab that around, and you pull out the little section. Geez, I think it's right there. Come on. And then, well, we're going to fight with this the whole darn time, aren't we? Yeah, we are. So, stab you in there. No. What did I do? Is it around the other side? I'm just going to stab that in there again, and it's not coming out for some reason. Let me try this one. No. It's a little bit tricky to get the little things to rotate. I kind of can see this one. So, let's see here. Now, let me try this. There we go. All right, so we pull that out, and let's see if I can get this one to pop out. Yeah, I can't get that to rotate all the way around. That's a little unfortunate, but then I did great chat. That's all right. Luckily, I don't have to return this one to anyone. This one's mine. So you do have the hole right there, so you can take the little tab, like I was saying, and pull this piece out like that. It does get a little bit tricky to get it to sit in here because it does tend to fold up. So kind of put it in there, fiddly little thing. So just kind of put it in there and rotate that around there, and you can get that storing. You can also do that with his guns as well. Like I was showing, you can take the handle, you can fold that in. And again, this is a little bit tricky because honestly, this piece right here kind of gets in the way. So you can't really do that very well here. I guess you could go like that with it if you really wanted. This one does it a little bit better because it's flat. So you can take this and you can kind of rotate that around, and again, have our heart, and you get the idea. It sits right there. So I'm going to take this, rotate that back around. So you do have storage for his weapons in his robot mode, which is nice though, but really great looking. Like I was talking about, still very heavy figure. Feeling the feet here, the die cast is still in there. Let me see. He does still have the die cast in the little exhaust bits right here, but the thighs are no longer die cast. That's plastic. But like I was saying, when you remove that, I mean, die cast does, at the end of the day, still cost a little bit more. So you can include additional weapons with it. And the other thing that's really cool is, as I was kind of showing in the Arch Nemesis one, the chest section, while it looks very similar to this, actually is not meant to open up. This one is, and all you do, you just rotate it out just like so, and you have an internal section here that houses a little die cast matrix. Now, one thing that I do want to kind of touch on is it's upside down. Now, there has been times, like when you store it in here, I mean, like you would imagine that this would be the right way to put it. But when you put it in his chest, you can see that it's upside down basically. Now, at first I was a little put off by that, but there have been times in releases of Optimus Prime figures where the Matrix has been put upside down. Specifically, the one that comes to mind is the reissue of G1 Optimus Prime that included a matrix with it. You remember the original G1 Optimus never came with the matrix. The reissue did. And then it had a little clip section that you would put in there, and then you would put the little bottom section, or basically the top section, into it, and it would sit in his chest just like this. So I don't know if that's necessarily what they're going for with this, but there is a history, I guess, of the Matrix being upside down. But absolutely gorgeous. And then again, you just close that back up, give that a nice little push, and then it tabs in right up here. I also really love the little jewel on the inside here. Now, unfortunately, it's not really see-through, although it kind of looks like it is when you get enough light kind of coming through it. But you can see that it does have that beautiful blue jewel on both sides that have a very nice reflective shimmer to it. I love the way that looks. And then you can see a nice chrome kind of silver paint, and then the gold on the inside. Absolutely love the way that this looks. One other aspect that I wish was a little bit more, I guess, sturdy is the fact that you put it in there and it just sits in there. It doesn't lock in or anything, so it isn't going to really remain up there unless you have it closed. If you have it like that, you'll be fine, but you got to keep it closed. But and you can see, again, coming in, you can see really nice blue eyes. But overall, I mean, gorgeous color on the entire thing. I'm really quite impressed. Very vibrant. The fact that, I mean, he's got black in him, it still has a very vibrant look to him. I mean, absolutely gorgeous. Now, first articulation is the exact same that we got. The head here is on a swivel. You get that looking left and right, and then it also hinges up and down very nicely. The shoulders here, you want to make sure that you keep these fully extended so that the large section here can rotate and clear the little side mirrors here. So you want to make sure that it stays like that. It can also hinge up and down like so, but then you also have another hinge at the red bit right here, which allows you to kind of extend his arm up a little bit more. Bringing that back down, you can also rotate it right above the elbow. It's got a really nice, little bit more than 90-degree bend at the elbow itself. The wrists rotate, the very stiff joints right there. And then the fingers, the index finger has two joints at it. You got the main knuckle and then the secondary knuckle. Nothing at the thumb, I don't think. No, that's all in one piece. And then the lower fingers are all connected, but they kind of hinge here with this main knuckle. He also does have an ab crunch, which is nice. You can also rotate very nicely at the waist. You come down here to the hips. They have nice ratchet joints moving forward and back. They can move in and out very nicely. Rotates at the upper part of the thigh. You have nice ratchet joints here. Actually, double ratchet joints at the knee, so you can get it bending really far up. Real nice range of motion there. You come down to the ankles. These can also flex in and out, forward and back. Then you got the toe that can pivot, and also the heel. And again, you know, great detail on the inside with the pistons. Just absolutely beautiful figure. Really is. In terms of the size, I don't have any Masterpiece ones here with me, but we did take a look at the comparisons in the Arch Nemesis, and he is bigger than the normal MP10 Optimus Prime, which I kind of like. You know, I mean, in terms of a G2 Optimus, you know, size really isn't all that much different than what you would get with, you know, the regular Optimus. But just because he's a G2 Optimus, I kind of like the idea of him being a little bit bigger. You know, just gives a different presence than the regular Optimus, I guess. So I kind of like him being a bigger figure. But all in all, terrific piece. If you're a fan of G2 Optimus, this is definitely a worthy addition to a Masterpiece display. Really quite fun. Now, to transform him back, we're going to take these sections, lift this up. You want to rotate the fists so the palms are down, and then rotate that back around. Collapse that up just like so. Do that on the opposite side as well. This one is fairly stiff, so give that a nice little push. Rotate the fists palm up. Then rotate that back into the forearm area, collapse that whole section just like that. You're going to angle these around and then just kind of stick them out to the side like so. Come around here to the head, you want to spin that around, come to the back section, take this, fold this back. Again, when you do that, that will make this little flap right here extend outward. And then kind of give it a little pull just to make sure that you get enough clearance for the head, and then just tuck that around just like so. Bring that back down. You can take this, put that right there. Then take these arms, you hinge these up, and then kind of just wiggle these over. You do have some clearance issues here, but just get that over. I mean, it's fairly easy. Bring that across just like so, and then just get that up and over the way like that. Do that on this side as well. Hinge that over. Bring that down. And then when you get it in here, you want to make sure that you push the actual arms all the way together to line everything up. And then just kind of look down here and see to make sure that the whole line is going straight down. So just kind of wiggle that over a little bit, futz with it some, kind of get it to shift, maybe push through there. There we go. How's that look? A little bit. It's a little bit crooked. There we go. So there we go. So now we have it nice and straight. You can then just take this entire section, you have it collapsed up, make sure you push it all the way down like so, and then you got little slots right on the inside of this section right here that will tab in right along that side right there. So just bring that up and in, and it just grooves in there very nicely right there. Come around here to the tires. You can take this section, collapse this down, collapse this down as well. Come around here to the back section, flex this up. Sometimes I need a little tool to help me just to pull it up. There we go, just like so. Rotate this out and around, out, spin that around like that as well. Straighten out these legs, make sure that the hips are straight just like so. You can collapse the foot and everything, do all that there. Take this back section, rotate this, make sure that the hinge is all the way down, put that all the way down like so. This piece can get a little bit tricky to pull out because you do have a little groove slot right here, but again, I'm just going to use this little razor thing. So just fold this out, fold that out like that, do that on this side as well. Fold that little piece out like so. Now to get the legs to collapse, you have to make sure that you push the button. So push this little button right on the inside. That will release everything to allow you to collapse it all the way up. Do that on this side as well. That collapses it all the way up. Bring the two halves together. These little bits right here kind of then tuck underneath. Get that lifted up out of the way. So get that piece to go underneath the little waist piece. So just like that, and then you collapse that all the way up, squeeze that nicely. Again, make sure that you have it all straight. Come around here to the wheels, collapse those down, do that on both sides, and then fold this piece all the way down. And then this has a little tab right there that's going to line up on the inside here. It's a little bit tricky to see, but it's on the inside of the wheel well. So just kind of line that up, give that a little push. That, let's see, locks into place. Oh no, I already got it in there. Oops. Do that on this side as well. Rotate that around. Line that little piece up. It's a little hard to see because it's black. So there you go. Tab that in there. Can give that a nice little squeeze. And when you're done, there you have Gunfighter 2 Transform. Well, dirt. Why didn't somebody tell me this? Take this, rotate that down. And then when you're done, you have Gunfighter 2 transformed and back in his truck mode. Now, of the two, I probably like this more than their arch enemy figure, only because I don't really care too much about Scourge or Nemesis Prime. G2 Optimus is at least a character that I recognize, I suppose. Everything about this figure, though, does a wonderful job of replicating what it needs to. The vehicle mode, robot mode, and even the transformation is very similar to that actual G2 Optimus Prime. It's just larger, with a lot better detail, and much more improved articulation. So while it's a simple figure, it hits on all the points that I would want a G2 Optimus in terms of a masterpiece to really actually hit on. Again, Fans Hobby has done a terrific job with this. Granted, yes, it is just a repaint, and it's a niche that not a lot of companies really bother with. So I'm happy to see that one of them is actually doing it, and doing it well. So all that being said, if Gunfighter 2 is a figure that you'd like to pick up, he will be available fairly soon at various retailers such as Capture Prey. So all you have to do for that is click on the link down in the video description. You'll go to Capture Prey where you can check out availability on this guy, as well as the rest of the Fans Hobby transforming figures. But beyond that, guys, that's about it. So once again, I want to thank you for tuning in. This has been Optibotimus. Don't forget that if you like this video, to please hit that thumbs up button. It goes a long way towards helping me out, and I'd really appreciate it. Also, if you're new here, be sure to subscribe in case you haven't already subscribed. That way you get instant email notifications whenever I upload a new video, and you never miss out on a future review of mine. Or hey, if you're already subscribed, do me a real quick favor and click on that bell right below this video, and double check your settings to make sure that they're set so that you get those email notifications. And as always, until next time, till all are one.